Welcome in to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, the only podcast in the Marshland Media Empire conglomeration force of nature, detailing episode by episode, beat by beat, and sweat by sweat. The series of Lucha Underground. We're all the way up to Season 3, Episode 9, titled Loser Leaves Lucha. James, loser leaves Lucha? What? Do you know what that means?
No.
Well, it means the loser. They're not on TV anymore.
No.
It's like it's like
One
there's
of
an
these
episode of
guys,
Friends.
I love these guys. Oh my God. I loved when Chandler and the monkey, they went up against each other and they just slammed that monkey, did a goddamn Bane knee backbreaker, and that monkey was out for the rest of the series.
Yeah, that's loser leaves friends. It's the same idea. R.I.P. Maurice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going down tonight. Chavo versus Rey Mysterio. Only one can stand.
Only one can be the Highlander. Yeah, guys, it's death to squids now.
Wait a
Jose,
minute, what?
get on in here. Jose comes in. He's like, hey, guys, I'm stoned. And we're like, we know that's the premise of the show, brother. And he says, but it ain't of Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. And I say, it's not that today. We're doing Highlander. Is it sci-fi? Maybe in the later ones. Who knows?
Is this because I was 30 minutes late to another recording session? Probably. And I don't blame James.
Yeah, more like 35.
It was closer to 35. That's true. I have no actual real excuse. I did my work and then I just slept. I slept too long.
But in the grand scheme of how long human existence have been around, you were barely gone for a millisecond.
That's a good point. That's especially if you're including last week. Which, thank you again. And y'all, if you follow the Blood Oath Shakespeare in Chicago, I'm doing plugs early. Make sure you see why I'm tired all the time.
He's not tired all the time. He's okay. He just likes making excuses because he was born with goddamn participation trophies.
Wow. No, I like making excuses because I enjoy avoiding responsibilities. And I also have a lot of participation trophies. They're two unrelated things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Don't you dare come at my participation trophy collection again, you son of a bitch.
I got a lot of participation ribbons because it's like there's no reason to give a kid an 8th place ribbon when there are only 8 lanes in a swimming pool. There's no reason. Don't give just 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 if there were 8 people, because then it's like, hey, you're the upper echelon. Those other plebes, get them out of here. Did I get some first place ribbons? Absolutely. But if I'm doing backstroke, you better believe I'm too scared, okay?
To not backstroke?
Backstroke is the scariest stroke to do because you're always in fear that I'm going to conk my head on the other side.
I didn't know that. I wasn't allowed. We had 8 places in the pool, but there were 9 kids on the team. So I had to like belly down on the grass and just kind of make that work.
Oh, in retrospect, that's the best thing to do. Swim team sucked. It blew. Because it was just waiting around for 3 heats that you're in. So it's like 5 hours of your day on a Saturday morning gone, just watching other people play Pokemon Red or Blue.
Oh, that part sounds great.
No, because you want to play Pokemon Red or Blue.
Oh no, I was under the assumption I'd already beaten the game, so I'm over there on the sidelines watching my friends take on the Elite Four, going, "Yeah, get him, Timmy! Fuck that dugong up!"
No, I wasn't allowed to have a handheld console.
Oh no! Did you ever grab a handheld console?
Eventually, I got a Game Boy SP from a neighbor who was like, "I don't need this anymore. I'm an adult."
Oh, nice. Hey, thank you to the death of your adolescence, giving us our new.
I also got all his N64 games, but when he's like, "Oh, I graduated to the Xbox. I don't need these anymore." So I got Kirby Crystal Shards.
Kirby Crystal Shards clears Blinks the Time Cat every fucking time.
I don't know who Blinks the Time Cat is.
The mascot of the Xbox, the original.
Oh, okay.
He didn't actually. He was one of those like. Xbox is such an interesting time of just like, we're going to talk about wrestling at some point, or death to squids. Well, let's find out. I just love, though, being there for the birth of like what will become a franchise and like how important coming out of like how important it was to have those cartoony sort of animalistic mascots.
As the platform mascots. What isn't that what it's called?
Yes. It is exactly what it's called because as much as I love my furries, Mario is not a furry. Just everyone else in the field happened to be.
Sometimes he's a furry.
Sometimes he is. That's true. I feel like that came out later, though, now that I think about it. Well, no. Tanuki suit Mario was always a thing.
In the third one.
Yeah. All right, so I take it back. It's always a furry. Your platform mascot needs to at least be a cosplaying furry.
But you want things like a Spyro the Dragon, a Scaly, get all of them. Crash Bandicoot. These are the guys you want. Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, what I want now, because we got Scalies in Spyro, we got hedgehogs just kind of doing their own things. Where are all the birds? I cannot think of a single bird mascot, and that as someone who tells people on the internet his name is Goose. Honestly, where am I? Where am I at? Make me a video game mascot. Do it. Just do it.
Well, maybe you don't know of a game about two best friends. One lives in the other's backpack. Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh, well, that's... I'm sorry, who were we... In the first game, who were you playing as the entirety of the game?
No. Kazooie would help you out, okay?
Kazooie would help. Kazooie's an absolute helper, and I do not want to take away from Kazooie. That's my good old Kazooie, which is a reference to Harry Nilsson, which isn't the demographic for this podcast. That's okay.
I don't even know who that is. I'm just saying there's probably more birds that we're not thinking of. Well, you discuss what we'll be discussing today or bring it up. I will look at bird video game platform mascots.
Great. Then I'll dive us into the episode. Loser Leaves Lucha, Season 3, Episode 9 of Lucha Underground, as Slapback plays us to the desk. They are the house band this week. They are fun. And they just kind of run down real quick. We don't get a lot, no real preamble, no like pre-show scene, and not a lot of preamble at the desk. Chavo Guerrero Sr. is here. They show him is sitting in the front row. He's here to watch his son fight Rey Mysterio in the Loser Leaves match. And as Matt's kind of running that down, Dario tells him to shut the hell up, which is cool. I think it's the first time Dario has interrupted the commentary team like that. Yeah.
Oh, we might not have any. I'm not seeing any.
You know what? And I'm glad we could talk about that.
Angry Birds, maybe?
Absolutely not. And how dare you?
It's Angry Birds. Why not? And Banjo-Kazooie, they list Banjo and Kazooie as the series mascots.
Fair. To an extent, fair. I kind of want a bird. Let the bird carry the project on their own. You know what I mean? Like, why we got to tie the bird to another mammal just to appease the mammal-centric minded cowards of the centrist? Are
we only talking the platform mascots or just mascots for video games in general?
So I was looking for, and now at this point it's just interesting. So either like this came from the specific platform mascots who were carrying a console, right? The way Spyro and Crash and Mario, and you know what? To an extent, Angry Birds really became the face of mobile gaming, for better and for worse. As much as it feels weird to say, but that's a very like old man mentality. Yeah. Of like, mobile's not a console. Well, sure it is.
I asked because Chocobo, Final Fantasy.
That is a huge, you know what? But I don't think there's ever been a Chocobo character.
Oh, yeah, in Chocobo Racing, he was the main character.
Okay, well, wait.
And Chocobo's Dungeon.
Chocobo's Dungeon, maybe. I don't know enough about it. In Chocobo Racing, I don't think none of the Chocobos were like sentient.
Yeah, no. There's a video game called Chocobo's Racing. It's a kart, like an arcade kart racer, and he is the main character. And I think he's so I guess Squall because he barely talks. And Link, they're not the mascot because they don't talk. I think Chocobo might not talk, but at that time, the silent protagonist was really big in these Japanese RPGs.
And I guess I did not know you felt this strongly about Chocobo Racing.
Oh, I love it, and I have beef with my sister to this day because she let not even a friend, just an acquaintance of hers, borrow it, and they never gave it back.
Oh no!
And now the game's like $60.
That's that weird, like, I want that weird stage of like a friendship of like, yeah, you know what? I got a good feeling about this acquaintance. They're gonna become a great friend.
No, she was just hopped up on dope.
Oh man, that sounds neat, actually.
Real quick, Falco.
Yes.
I would consider he's one of the playable characters in that Dang Dang Smash Brothers. Falco's could be one. And
Falco's great.
From Kid Icarus Pit, he technically bird.
Angel, not bird.
Angel is too bird.
Angel, not bird. No way.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, then we need more bird mascots. But
and we need more Christian allegories in video games.
Man, it's full of it. You ever play Dante's Inferno?
Oh yeah, Dante's Inferno. I forgot about that beautiful Christian parable.
You ever see? I think a lot of Pokemon games can kind of, there's some Christian allegories going on.
James, I had the best idea.
What?
What if Veggie Tales did Dante's Inferno?
Ooh, that'd be really dope.
Yeah, I've got nothing else other than those words, but we're green lighting the project. We're moving forward.
If a movie came out called Veggie Tales Dante's Inferno, or I guess it would be like Larry the Cucumber's Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, Larry the Cucumber goes to hell.
Or Larry's Inferno, that's what we would call it.
Lair Tante's Inferno.
We don't need you don't need the Tante on there. It's just Larry's Inferno.
Dante Reese.
Or why not Tomatoes Inferno? I don't know the tomato's name.
Bob. I've seen only as many episodes as we tried to do a podcast around.
You've only seen that many? Wow, you need to get up on it. Also, real quick, guys, speaking of Christian media, I did cancel my subscription to Bible Man's Vimeo. Yay! Again, only about $5.50 or something like that was spent on it, not too much. So I threw some bones their way.
Yeah, they're not doing well. So good for you. And if you're wondering, if you're like, what is Bible Man? Get in those feeds and listen to our Bible Man episodes.
Over on Mostly Speaking Sentai.
But don't get high one night and then subscribe to the service. James did that for you. Get accidentally high one night and subscribe to their streaming service.
You want to know what? I'll share my password. I'll re-up on the subscription if other people want it.
Wait. No.
So Dario's there, huh?
So Dario, for the first time, I believe the first time, straight up just interrupts Matt Stryker, says, "You're talking too much. You shut the hell up. I got something to say."
Sean, you're talking too much. Shut up. I got something to say. And that is, I love it when you talk.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I love it when you talk. And Dario does not care for Matt Stryker.
Hey guys, I'm doing perfect ventriloquism right now, okay? Look at my mouth, it's not even moving.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm a real person anymore. I'm a ventriloquist puppet of James's design, which is chill. Dario has his Dial of Doom out. Even with Aztec warfare on the horizon, the hubris to bring back the Dial of Doom for just one more spin. Aztec warfare, the over-the-top battle royale, is going to be a Lucha Underground title match. So they're really loading Matanza up with challenges.
And he's going to be number one.
And he's going to be number one defending his title there. But right before he defends it tonight, they're going crazy with it. So, but fuck it, spin the wheel as it lands on Dario's choice.
This is weird, Sean, because where's the other Dario?
Now, what do you mean by that?
There's no apostrophe in Dario's choice, so it's multiple Dario's choice.
I was so afraid you were going to bring that up. I was petrified this morning, just like, no, please let this minor typo, this grammatical error stand.
No.
They say it's Dario's choice. There's a hidden Dario somewhere in the back. There's a pile of them, I bet.
And it's between, hey, which of my children do I want to bring from this war-torn area, my son or my daughter?
Oh, there's a bunch of like war-torn, left behind Darios?
Yeah, no, this is like Sophie's choice.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that's what that movie's about?
I thought it was about cancer.
No, see, this is wild. So, like, when people say, like, Sophie's Choice, you're like, oh, yeah, that's just, like, a thing we go to. No, it's from World War II, I believe. She has to choose between which kid to bring with her. That's fucked.
I didn't know it was a choice between your two children. One has to live and one has to die.
Oh.
I didn't know it was about World War II, though. So this discovery for me is a lot more quaint than it would be for some others.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, this is okay. It's still really sad.
I thought it was kind of like a Stella gets her groove back or something. I was like, this is Sophie's choice, guys. She made the choice to become a boss bitch in middle age. No one can stop her, but everyone can be her. That's all you have to do. Make your own Sophie's Choice.
Let's re-edit the Sophie Choice trailer, make it a How Stella Got a Groove back, pitch it back to the studios, and then after that makes $1 bazillion, they have to trust us when we pitch them Tomatoes Inferno.
And then, oh my God, the number one listened to episode of the Rom Complex is Tomato Sophie's Choice.
Wait.
Because together, you and I, that's our writing name is Tomato.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I thought it was going to be Sophie's Choice, but as told by the Veggie Tales.
Oh, that'd be fantastic, too.
I was going to say, not the worst idea. As much as I hate the Veggie Tales, not the worst idea.
It'd be Mary's choice, and she's like, do I get this fucking thing aborted or not, huh?
Oh, Mary, that classic Brooklyn character.
Hey, Joseph, should I like scoop this out? He's like, no, man, Mary, I think you got the God's kid in you. Hey, all the responsibility, none of the fun, am I right, hon?
Oh,
now come dig me out.
Well, we got to dig out Dario's choice for this Dial of Doom pick. Dial of Doom lands on Dario's choice. Dario gets a little, wow, look at that. Well, you know what? There is a guy in the back, Dario goes on to say. He had his arm broken by Penta, but he's been showing up every day, just hoping for that shot. And you know what? That shot's coming in today. Cortez Castro, get on down here for your title match.
I was upset. He was setting it up as if it were Vinny Massaro, baby.
I also thought it was going to be Vinny Massaro. I was very excited for Vinny.
You also, you glanced over when it goes on Dario's choice. He goes, any volunteers? And then the crowd starts going, yeah! And then Dario goes, no, none of you. Real competition, you idiots.
Oh, man, which is so messed up. Chavo Guerrero Sr. is in the front row. He is a legend.
Damn, what if he got up and said, I'll beat up Matanza, and he does, and he gets the goddamn belt?
What a beautiful what-if world we could have lived in. And quick reminder, if you're wondering why Dario is being extra bratty to Cortez Castro in this, that Cortez Castro is an undercover cop. However, Dario knows this, but Cortez doesn't know that Dario knows. Complicated enough for everyone? Great.
No, this is no Sophie's Choice. I understand.
Oh, Sophie's Choice is kind of the Matrix of heartbreaking tragedies.
Oh, yeah, red pill, blue pill.
That you got to choose.
But
you got to choose.
In this case, it's pink pill, blue pill, you know?
Oh, my God.
Yes!
First match of the night, Cortez Castro versus the monster, Matanza Cueto.
No.
Yeah, Cortez comes out. Arm is in a cast and a kendo stick in the other hand, which he throws away before he enters the ring, which I get, but I wouldn't have done that. I would have held on to that. I come out to the ring with a big old stick to fight the monster Matanza, which is more than a name, it's also a description. I'm holding on to my stick.
He throws it in the crowd. The Sandman grabs it.
Hey, all right, yeah. That's my Sandman impression, and I feel very good about it.
And he's like, hey, guys, like, I know I was brought popular by that one comic book artist, but, you know, I'm trying to take a step away from him, you know, because yikes.
Oh, wait, what? I don't know enough about this, and we don't have to talk about it on air.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman, bad guy.
I forgot. I thought there was an actual comic artist who was just drawing the Sandman, the wrestler.
Oh,
which
no.
would be awesome. Yeah, that sounds way better than Neil Gaiman. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's a chud. 2 thumbs down.
Agreed. Cortez comes out swinging. It doesn't do him much good. Matanza headbutts him in the chest, Zidane style, before just stomping directly on the cast. Oof.
And there's a crunch. Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah, this is not... As injured as Killshot was the last time we had a Dial of Doom, Cortez is like, he should not be here. Like, you should be at home in a bed resting.
I think this is the difference when it comes to other wrestling shows in this one. There are Hollywood people backing this. So I think they're like, what? Foley-wise, it doesn't sound like an actual broken bone, but for us, when we watch movies, what sounds most like a broken bone, and they found some material that will sound like, oh, this isn't the cast breaking, this is his arm breaking, and I think that's what really worked.
Yeah, honestly, this sound in general is so good. So this ended up being unrelated, but just timed itself out to where it confused me in the best way possible. Vampiro's on the call. He ends up calling Dario a coward. Doesn't understand why Dario won't give Matanza a break before Aztec warfare. You know, why doesn't he get in there and wrestle? And just like at the perfect timing, Dario was shouting it at the ring, but you just hear Dario over the headset, like must have been just picked up by Matt's mic or something, just scream, "That's because you have the life of a rat." I was like, damn, Dario, just shitting on, calling Vampiro the life of a rat. But to the sound quality, it was that perfect level of like, clearly I'm not meant to hear this. Mm-hmm. This Dario's line is getting picked up, but it's also being picked up perfectly clearly so that I can't hear it and make it out and just and clutch my little pearls and go, my oh my. Uh-huh. Matanza ends up re-breaking Castro's arm by breaking the cast, like cracks the cast, like recracks his arm, and we get that good crunchy sound. He slides it off of his arm, gets about to like beat him over the head with it. Cortez escapes for a moment, but not too much longer after that. Rolling uppercut into the wrath of the gods. 1, 2, 3. Matanza wins this match in 2 minutes, 21 seconds.
Oh, I really liked when Cortez got his cast and he starts hitting Matanza with it, doesn't he?
He does for a moment.
And Vampiro's like, hell yeah, hit him again, hit him again.
It reminds me of one of my all-time favorite fatalities, Mortal Kombat 4, where Quan Chi, this powerful sorcerer of the undead, this necromancer wielding unfathomable magics, when he defeats you, he does it by ripping off your leg and just beating you with it.
Hell yeah.
Like no magic involved whatsoever. Just give me that leg. Bonk, bonk, bonk.
I mean, if you seriously try to pull someone's leg off, your mind would stop you before that. You'd be like, oh, I shouldn't do this. I think magic lets you do that, you know?
That fair. I feel Johnny Cage uppercuts people's heads off, and I don't think he has much magic.
Well, yeah, that's a quick little thing. Like, you don't have to, like, tug at an uppercut to the head.
Scientifically, there is someone out there who is foaming at the mouth on how quickly you disregarded the ability to pop someone's head off as a quote-unquote quick little thing.
It's a quick little thing, guys. It's like you can technically bite through one of your fingers, but your mind prevents you from doing that.
This is a weird meditation class you're teaching.
I'm just saying, you need magic to really pull through and do that, to not just pull through, to pull off.
Oh, well, God, I didn't want to make a pull-out joke, but then all I could think about were the words pull out. Let's pull out from the ring into Dario's office.
Well, real quick, Dario says, hey, Cortez, I hope you feel great under covers, and I hope you're getting a bad rat, something like that. And I was like, under covers? Rat? Cortez Castro had a rat inside his cast this entire time doing a ratatouille.
Yep. He was ratatouille his wrestling. So he does say the undercovers, the rat line though. I'm glad you brought that up because so the undercovers is still like a metaphor, and ideally you could be like, I think he knows. Oh shit, I'm kind of fucked. Then he just straight up calls him a rat. Like there's no metaphor. There's no metaphor to the way he just says like, and also you're a rat. Like it's like, oh okay, yeah, no, he knows.
Yeah.
Cortez, you gotta get out of here.
I heard you quit playing in the locker room, ratatouille. He could have said that. He could have said, oh, I heard you're born the year of the rat. Well, this is the year of the Cueto. Or the monster.
Of course. It's like if he said, well, I heard you were born the year of the rat. I know you sold me out, you dirty son of a bitch. Like he just kind of like drops it for a second. Dario's office. Dario and Joey are laughing about Castro's misfortune. There's a knock. Joey leaves. And it's Havoc knocking at Dario's office door. He is here on behalf of his silent partner, standing directly behind him, Masquerita Sagrada, who still has a very reasonable beef with Famous B. Famous B dumped him for a new client and was very rude. We all agree. Famous B, very rude to Masquerita Sagrada. Yes, James?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making... I was worried you weren't going to take Masquerita Sagrada's side there for a second.
Oh, no, I love him. I was mainly thinking maybe he doesn't talk because he wants his identity secret, but he has a very distinct voice. Maybe he's like Bobcat Goldthwait when he's doing the Bobcat,
Maybe it is Bobcat Goldthwait.
Maybe he talks like this. Hey, baby, how you doing?
It could be a number of reasons. I like to think it is Bobcat under that mask, and that Bobcat has been a short luchador for many a year now.
Or maybe it's just a real Bobcat underneath.
Oh, man. We should... Why not a bird, though? That's why it's cool. I'm excited, but I'm just saying, why not a bird?
The wings.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the wings. Well, the Son of Havoc is asking for Dario to allow Masquerita's wings to spread a little next week. How about we give him that old rematch, one-on-one style against Famous B? Dario tries to laugh off the challenge, but when Havoc insists, Dario does have an answer. If Havoc can beat Dr. Wagner, Famous B's new client, the client he dumped Masquerita for, Havoc can beat Dr. Wagner tonight, then next week, one-on-one, Masquerita versus Famous B, in a match stipulation of Masquerita's choice. That's all if Havoc can win.
Mm-hmm. I loved this line. Son of Havoc says, hey, Masquerita versus Famous B. Dario says, Famous B's retired. And Son of Havoc goes, he wrestled last week.
I think Dario's also kind of like a little sloshed in this scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very cute of like, he's retired. Who's Famous B? He's like, he was there. We wrestled him last week. I was in the match. You booked me.
Speaking of that, last week's Mostly Speaking Sentai with Joe from Hit It and Crit It, we go in depth to the thin gravy and instant mashed potatoes. Sean, you will love how much Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling references we do.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm excited, but also terrified.
It ends up becoming part of the game.
Hooray! Well, that's no game quite yet. We have another promo, this time from Prince Puma in the ring.
The Prince.
They do so few in-ring promos. It's so exciting. Puma goes on, he may have beaten Mil Muertes in this ring 2 weeks ago, but that's not enough. Puma's taking Vampiro's advice on this one. If Mil has put Puma's mentor, Conan, in a coffin, then Puma?
Oh, you got something on your mind, you little freak.
Aw, man. Sex.
Timon and Puna,
That's what... damn it. Then P-U-M-A Puma will not stop until he does the same to Mil. That's regarding that their old coffin. So Puma challenges Mil Muertes to grave consequences. That is the Lucha Underground specialty coffin casket match.
P-U-M-A is what I say to my mom when she's making cabbage. Or sauerkraut. I'm like, P-U-Ma?
That's what I call higher education in the master system. This sort of educational system that's designed to keep the rich richer and the poor poorer. I say P-U-M-A. How about free education there?
Nah, make education expensive so us intelligent folk can lord over those dummies.
James, you and I are two of the people that we would get so much from this. They are the wealthy do not have us in their hearts, James. Like especially us.
I'm smarter than most wealthy people, I'd think.
I think that's not the point. The point, education is not intelligence, right?
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's education. It's learning what they want you to know so that you can make the most money for them, and then maybe they'll give you a cut. The system is broken. We need to change it. Also, Katrina accepts the grave consequences match.
Oh, I'm smarter than Gen Z, I know that.
I know for a fact you're not.
No, because a Gen Z was, he pulled out a copy of Blade from his pocket, the DVD. He was like, yeah, man, sure. I just got this because my copy, I work at a comic book store, guys. This was related because he wanted to buy Blade comics, but I saw in his eyes him learning, old comic book cost much more than new comic book. because I was like, yeah, this one's like $30. And he's like, huh? Okay. I just read it online, with Marvel Unlimited. That's besides the point. He pulled it out. He's like, yeah, I had a copy, but it got stuck in my DVD player. I was like, oh, yeah, you can just take that apart and undo it. He's like, yeah, but it's attached to a TV. It's like an old one. I was like, you don't need to tell me it's an old one if it's attached to a TV. But then I was like, yeah, just like this is how you would do it. You can just search the model number on YouTube and then stuck DVD. And for sure, there will be a video step-by-step explaining that. And Nicole's like, that's a Gen Z. How did he not know to do that? I was like, oh, dang, maybe that they have all the information at their fingertips. They don't know that they can use that practically.
I'm more astounded. Quick reminder that, because you said it, James works in a comic book shop, not like an old-timey Radio Shack where you can bring in your TV, DVD combos and to get like tips and tricks on how to. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot for this young child.
And for the store, this guy said, I want all your Miles Morales stuff. And we're like, well, what series? And he says, all of it. How much would that be? And I was like, I'd have to gather it all up. If the guy actually follows through, he's coming in next week. We're going to make like $1,000 off from this dude.
Damn. Does he? Okay. All right.
But if he doesn't show up, hey, all of it's organized. We can put that out on the shelves because that stuff does sell.
Damn. That's a double whammy of good news.
Uh-huh.
We should open a Radio Shack though. James, you're doing beautiful things at that comic book shop. Honestly, inspiring stuff for not just for hobbyists and the store itself, which is the best. To me, that speaks to community and makes my heart feel all good. I say leave it all behind and join me in my Radio Shack.
And you're talking like Radio Shack in the late 80s, early 90s.
I'm talking about a shack I built out of old discarded radios.
Oh, yeah. You want to know what? That's probably better. The lease for that's going to be astronomically lower than what we would have to pay otherwise.
Absolutely. Mostly because we do not have a lease. We legally cannot be here. But if you walk by a shack built out of old discarded radios, you're either going to be curious in a very excited way, or you're going to be terrified of the questions that builds in your heart when you see it. And get the fuck out of here with that fear in your heart. You're not strong enough for my Radio Shack if you've got fear in your heart.
Yeah, unlike PUMA, PUMA.
Yeah, exactly. Katrina accepts. Mill comes out in a full suit to jump Puma from behind. Beautiful looking suit. Puma still manages to clear the ring, like clear Mill out of the ring, and has enough time to do the whole like fake out dive to the outside. No, I'm just going to do a backflip and land superhero pose. Ricochet style, baby. As they go to commercial, Puma, like Mill is going to leave. He turns his back. Either Mill is the greatest actor or this wasn't entirely planned. Puma throws the suit jacket back at Mill, who turns around again in a way that is almost like, I don't care if I'm still on camera. What the fuck was that, bro?
Uh-huh.
That's a very nice jacket. That was so rude of you. Oh my God. I can't wait to bury you alive and get grave consequences next week.
Speaking of Puma, Sean came to aforementioned comic book store and I had to get something from like, we have a wall of key comics. So like anything above $50 is on this wall. Someone was like, hey, what's the price for this? So I have to like climb up. It's, like a story up, like there some of these comics. So I grab that and I go to Sean, hey, what if I fall, but I don't die? I land like that Prince guy. And you're like, that Prince guy? And I go, like that superhero pose that Puma Man does? And you're like, oh, like Prince Puma. I was like, I could not think of his name.
Though I do like Puma Man. Puma Man is very good.
There's a movie called Puma Man, and it might be like is it a Mexican luchador movie? You keep going. Go on to our next match.
Famous B takes the mic from Melissa Santos to properly introduce his client. And he just kind of runs down the audience. You're all destined for mediocrity. I've got myself a world-famous client, the MD of mass destruction, the practitioner of punishment, and the board-certified breaker of dreams, accompanied by his nurse, the beautiful Brenda, Dr. Wagner Jr. Boo, this guy. It is Dr. Wagner Jr. versus Son of Havoc. As we kind of went into earlier, if Havoc wins, Masquerita Sangrada gets his match and gets to choose the stipulation. So, and it is always very wild to see Son of Havoc now, just from where he, because it's also not that long ago, this is only season 3 from season 1. It is such a wildly different take on Son of Havoc, which feels like the right call. Like he's a sweetheart from the open road who's just going around helping his friends. Like there's something almost Fist of the North Star, but like a little more PG-13 about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just like, yeah, what, because what is Son of out of this entire storyline? You know, Son of Havoc doesn't really get anything outside of a friend to share his pizza rolls with. Which is a reference to earlier this season when product placement pizza rolls very subtly. You would not have noticed. It was beautiful.
And they are still like at the end, you see like stuff paid for thanks to Bagel Bites.
Excuse me. Oh my God. Oh, it's Bagel Bites.
Oh, you said pizza rolls? Yeah, they're different.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to be ran out of town. I'm going to be ran out of this temple.
Real quick, the Puma Man is a 1980 Italian superhero film, but it does have to do with Aztec gods.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm kind of want to look into Puma Man.
Check out the Mystery Science Theater episode of it.
Hell yeah. I know Dario Cueto won't walk into the middle of the shot and just start explaining like, you know what, this is where we got the inspiration for Prince Puma, but I want him to. I want to believe there's a world where Dario just kind of walks into there's a shadow of Dario and Matanza, and you can't really tell it's Dario, but then you see Matanza's silhouette, and you're like, oh yeah, that's Dario Matanza. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, did you know Lucha Underground? This match starts off Havoc as well. Havoc, he takes Wagner outside of the ring early, tries turning around, takes him outside the ring, bonks him around for a little bit, jumps onto the barricade to hit this beautiful moonsault. That's the other thing with Son of Havoc being this kind of like good guy from the open road is it just lets him do his really cool shit. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to boo Matt Cross's offense. It's too exciting. It's not impossible. He was a great piece of shit. I just like him better as a babyface.
Yeah.
In the ring, Havoc tries to run rings around Wagner, but Wagner has the flying clothesline to cut Havoc down. Beautiful Brenda from the outside screams, "Shave his beard!" All right. It would affect his aerodynamicity, and then he might fuck up.
Don't act like shaving a beard isn't untoward to say in a wrestling ring.
I'll act any way I please. I thank you very much.
My friend Cord used to always, when we would ask, maybe I've said this before, we would ask him to drive us to Burger King. He'd say, "Scratch my neck," and then it would be like his bearded neck. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Scratch my neck is good.
I also really liked in this match, we get Chance going, it goes Son of Havoc, but then there's a little bit of faint Dr. Wagner, and I like that both of them are getting cheers.
There's some I really like seeing Dr. Wagner. He does one of my favorite things I've ever seen. As Son of Havoc starts firing up, he's throwing these chops back at him. Dr. Wagner takes the straps down so he can go bare chest and just, I love it. Hit me more. And then Son of Havoc keeps hitting him. He's like, damn it. That was too much. But it was just like really, and also, like on top of that, which is a beautiful moment, he's throwing them just a lot of mean suplexes, but a lot of very creative like tosses and throws. There's like one, I barely got it. It's almost like it's this cravat. So it's this sort of like inverted headlock that he just ends up flipping Havoc over his shoulder. And like, it becomes like a neck breaker. But I like fancy little throws I never done seen before are always very exciting to me.
Yeah. I also think Dr. Wagner, it's not Dr. Wagner. I think his first name's Doctor.
Interesting. Now, Famous B, when he began managing Dr. Wagner, did start wearing a stethoscope and more doctor-like accoutrements. Of course, Beautiful Brenda became the Nurse Beautiful Brenda. Now, why would all of that be if Dr. Wagner is not a legitimate PhD?
Just branding purposes. Like if my name was Angus and I was in a wrestling ring and my manager came out like, hey, I'm going to grill some stuff up. And then I had a chauffeur who was dressed as like a furry cow. Like, I'd be like, okay, but I'm not Angus Beef. That's just my name.
I like to imagine like Dr. Wagner's the same as I imagine Angus Beef, which is just your name, unrelated. It's as you're walking out, you just kind of turn around and be like, that's not who, guys, Guys, this is too much. This is too much branding.
Then I'd be cursing at my mom saying, why did you name this? And even more cursing at my dad for saying, why did you allow this? Because that was going to be my name.
Angus Beef was going to be your name?
No, just Angus.
Oh, could it be Angus Beef, though?
Yeah, I guess Angus Beef McCormick McCollum. Why not?
Thank you so much. I'm giggling today. Yeah.
Abum.
Abum, let's get back to this match where Famous B, he's getting in some cheap shots on the outside, behind the referee's back. Masquerader tries to stop it, but he just gets tossed for his troubles. But Havoc fights back. He doesn't stay down long. He fires up, fights back, keeps this comeback going until Wagner catches him by the beard on the top rope. However, the beard is the strength of the one known as Havoc. Brenda was right. They should have shaved the beard. He ends up kicking off Dr. Wagner, hits the shooting star press, 1, 2, 3, the win for Son of Havoc in 5 minutes and 34 seconds.
It's so good. This match ruled, but there was a part on commentary. Matt Stryker goes, you have more knowledge about this. Son of Havoc, do you really want to be messing with a guy in a motorcycle gang? And then
I remember this.
Vampiro's just like, what are you, what you're so close yet so far away in the, what's the, a vernacular that's in a Cloakianism that is,
Wait,
you know the
colloquialism?
Yeah, that word.
Okay. Shout out to Cloawakening, though, the religion we started back in Shuffling the Deck that is dedicated to the worship of the bird's butthole, a.k.a. where the eggs come out.
No, that was season 1 of Sweaty Time.
Oh, I still believe.
Yeah, me too. But
okay.
He's like, it's a biker gang, not motorcycle gang. What are you talking about? And he's just like, you're a stooge.
You're a fool. I think doesn't he also say Son of Havoc looks more like he'd rather be playing Dungeons and Dragons than joining a motorbiking gang.
Which he does. He looks like an executioner.
Hell yeah. Which is like, honestly, it's one of those, I get 2016 and Vampiros from an even earlier age. You don't know it like we know now. You can be both.
Yeah.
You can be a dangerous biker and also a sick-ass paladin.
Well, I think Vampiro was saying that. Like, hey, I know more than you. I know Dungeons and Dragons, and I know motorcycle gangs.
Multi-classing is a thing. Get you someone who can do both.
He's like, well, I know more like the D20 system, when I played the pendulum all the time with my buddies Joey and Joey.
Both Joeys. Yeah. Matt Stryker is a more of a. I was gonna say kids with bikes, but I love the kids on bike system, and I don't want to play with Matt Stryker.
I was also referring to the Insane Clown Posse. Their real names are both Joe, and the Pendulum was the Juggalo made for ICP, their D20 system tabletop RPG.
I remember this because yes, shoot,
I think it was called the Pendulum.
Have you run a Pendulum game? I know you were talking about it before.
I was talking about it, but trying to get people together for that, it's hard.
Yeah. Even if I'm not invited, I will sneak into a window, crawl into a wastebasket, and then right before you say, all right, let's roll up these characters, will appear and insist myself upon your game.
I would love that, and it's Pendulum's Promise.
I sincerely, not a joke in my heart, Pendulum promise to get in on that game if that ever runs. Hell yeah. Speaking of running, I'm running directly to my TV for the latest White Rabbit segment.
Before this, I wrote down, am I horny or is this episode horny? Which is also what I say whenever I watch the 700 Club.
Okay.
But yes, the White Rabbit stuff.
Actually, I skipped something. I apologize. After the match, because they have to, Havoc won, Masquerita gets his match, and Masquerita decides, Havoc goes on the mic to explain, that it will be Masquerita versus Famous B in the return stipulation, a beloved stipulation, Believers Backlash match. That is a sort of lumberjack match where if a competitor falls off the outside, the believers, the fans in the temple, are allowed to beat them over the head We saw it last time with Hernandez and Drago, as everyone just kind of beat him with I think they were like little whips, right?
Yeah, I think so.
However, this one's gonna be a little different. The weapon will be bring your own weapon. Anything you find around at home on the walk over here. Maybe you've got a friend that has a spare Morning Star. Bring that to the temple. Bring your own weapon. Believers Backlash match. Famous B versus Masquerita is scheduled. I'm excited. I love that stipulation. I feel like we've talked about that stipulation before. I think specifically you going, hey, I would love to see people just bring in their own weapons.
Yeah, because we talked about it when Drago did it.
Yes.
With Hernandez. And then, it's also this is the Chris Gethard show, because they've done bullshit like this where they did an episode where anyone could bring in their own musical instrument, the audience could, and it was chaos.
Yeah.
You have to watch this show, Sean.
I did parts of it. I need to watch more. I know. I did start watching For Better or For Worse, which is the early 80s, runs through 2008, Sunday morning comic series that would appear in all of our local papers, become an animated TV show after a couple of Christmas specials.
Oh,
so
yeah, you've talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, I started watching For Better or For Worse. That's comparable. They're both TV shows.
Yeah.
White Rabbit segments. Yeah, it's another White Rabbit segment. Paul London, but it's just the top hat and the suit because the top hat is lowered. He says, I've always tried to understand my destiny, but could never see clearly until I followed the white rabbit down the hole. He told me of the ancient tales of my ancestors and to go and compete at the temple. The rabbit didn't tell me what I'd find there, just that all I had to do was open my eyes and I would see my destiny. London then gets joined by two more bodies, both are masked. One is in this black and white Harlequin patchwork. Very interesting. The entire thing is is modern day Seth Rollins. If you're listening, you're familiar with what Seth Rollins is doing in the WWE. This sort of very I think Rollins is a little more overboard, a little more overt because the character's been around for so long. But this very it's if the ringmaster of a circus, but was on a lot of LSD. That's the sort is the sort of vibe. Well, and you know what? TikTok, motherfucker. I'm still in. I'm still really excited for this debut.
Hell yeah.
I think this might be the most heartbreaking thing to me that they don't stay around for a little bit longer, is that there is so much. Paul London, especially at this time, this is 2016, years before Seth was ready to do the Seth stuff. He's so ahead of his time with this character, and I'm very excited for it. And we go to our main event. Loser Leaves Lucha, Chavo Guerrero Jr. versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Vampiro, he's already tearing up on Chavo's entrance. He's like, I was there when these kids debuted. I cannot believe it's come to all of this. I saw their debuting. He says debut. He pronounces the T in debut. And it's one of the many things I love about Vampiro.
I'll put a T in anything.
Oh, but there is a T in debut. You just don't say it unless you're Vampiro, in which case you say whatever the fuck you want.
I put it in my hot water. I put it in my arm.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get more testosterone in me.
Hey, maybe you put it on your chest if you're not wearing anything.
Oh, yes.
A little bit of a shirt, yeah.
Put it in my pose on my video games.
Yeah. Put it under a golf ball, go for a swing.
Add an E to it, got an alien.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Sixth example, Chavo and Ray get in the ring. They lock up. Chavo ties Ray up early. He's grounding the King of the Skies immediately, which is very smart. Rey Mysterio he's very fast and very good. If you're familiar with Rey Mysterio and Chavo Guerrero, the strategy is exactly what you'd expect it to be. Rey Mysterio is not just the fastest, but one of the nicest in the skies, one of the nicest to move around. Chavo understands how to ground. He understands how to lock up. He understands how to put you into a pretzel if he need to. But Ray does pick up the speed. He throws Chavo to the outside, dives off of the apron to head scissor Chavo into his own father sitting in the front row.
Oh, yeah.
Which is such a power move. There's one thing. Hey, I can beat up you in front of your dad. I could beat up your dad in front of you, or secret third option, I Tijeras you into your own father. What a fool you will look like, both of you spilled onto the ground.
And Chavo Sr., he pulls out a goddamn gun and says, try it again.
No, wait, no guns.
But
Hold
it's
on.
a gun blade. So you're like, whoa, he's seed rank? What rank are you? And he's like, the highest. I move around and get 10,000 gold.
Yeah, but he'll never be a real video game protagonist because he's too silent of a protagonist.
Oh,
Sorry,
screw
Leon.
you. There's a part where Chavo early on has Rey Mysterio like pinned. Rey gets up and he kind of like thrusts his pelvis into the sky to like make sure, oh, my shoulders aren't on the ground. So then Chavo gets on top of him, like his feet are on his knees and they're just like a
little above his knees, like right at his hip flexors.
And this is when I wrote down, no, it's a horny episode.
Yeah. Usually I'll see it's a classic bridge spot where they try and like, you know, Rey will bridge out of it to get his shoulders up. Chavo brings those feet down on his hip flexors to push him back. But it doesn't always work like this. The way Rey sort of crumples after the hit is very interesting to me. There's a couple of that in this match. At one point, Rey sort of like does the Tijeras on like into the second rope to kind of set up for the 619. But it comes down like really, really ugly in a very interesting way. Like the way Chavo lands on his neck I got scared until I remembered they're both not just both professionals, but have been doing it for a very long time, but have been doing it with each other for a very long time.
Yeah, also they're still alive and thriving in the business.
And they're both they're both doing very well. It was just it was I was talking to my brother about it, just like hanging out with my brother of like Sabu loves to do it of like planned botches to like, hey, like if every move looked perfect and pristine, then, you know, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean as much. So like maybe every now and again, not, you know, I think Rey doesn't go full botch. He'll be like, no, the move can just look messy because it's a fight. Like I won't get it perfectly every time. It looks like I struggled for it. Whereas Sabu would be like, no, what if I just like fall on my face sometimes because I'm doing something off the top rope?
Yeah.
Like it's a high risk move. Sometimes you fall on your butt and you go, ow. And I love that. I love that for Sabu, and I love that in this era of Rey.
Speaking of Sabu real quick, I was reading about Insane Clown Posse, and when they started wrestling, some of their first shows that they performed at were with up-and-coming Rob Van Dam and Sabu. So even before they became the Insane Clown Posse that we knew, they had been friends with those two, and that's why they like perform with them so much.
Michigan, baby. Yeah, wow. Michigan has that should be in the Michigan like tourism board.
Oh yeah,
it's like, hey, do you guys know ICP, Rob Van Dam and Sabu were all best friends within our borders? That's the kind of state we're running here. People, come through.
Get it, guys. Real quick about Chavo and Chavo Jr. When they like slam on the ground and they like stand up together, I wrote down the Chavos would bag on MILF Manor.
Don't.
They would, father and son. They'd clean up, baby. They'd be lifting these tiny women, just saying, oh, how much do you weigh? 120, and most of that's tit? Hell yeah. And they're like, lift me, I feel so tiny.
I can't imagine any of our listeners are not watching MILF Manor. But just in case one of you aren't, MILF Manor, of course, is a reality dating competition show featuring initially. I've only seen second season. I think that this is a second season thing though, where it's like, yeah, a bunch of young men and then a bunch of older women. And then like, I think it's halfway through episode 1. They're like, oh, by the way, we've invited all of the young men's fathers to also compete on the show.
And it rules in some uncles show up.
It does not rule. Some of it is the worst. It is so, maybe I'm working through my own father issues while watching MILF Manor, which is not a great time to work through such issues. I acknowledge that. But it just seems like almost like I think I would walk off. I think I would be like, you know what? This is, I don't want to see my dad. I don't want my dad to see me be horny, period.
I think if Nicole's stepdad, like if for some weird reason Nicole passed away or something and I was like on the dating scene and he was too and like he showed up, I'd be like, hell yeah. But if my dad showed up, I would be like, yeah, like the one kid, he should have left. I can't believe the producers didn't know that him and his dad were not on speaking terms for like 4 years.
Well, and that might be one of those I don't believe the producers when they say they didn't know.
Oh, yeah, but I think they did know.
Yeah. And they were taking advantage of a situation to make money. What? No way. Big money corporations doing something to adversely affect someone else just to make themselves richer? That would never happen. I love the rich. I love them so much.
This is truly how you know the two sides of when Warner Brothers and Discovery merged. This is how Discovery people acted, opposed to like the Cartoon Network Warner Brothers people saying like, no, we should be like making true meaningful content. And they're like, no, let's just exploit people.
Yeah.
But still, I think the second season, especially the first half, is amazing. And it is nice seeing how these boys interact with their fathers and how sweet and tender it is. But then the last half kind of sucks. It's just like there's too much drama and the dynamic between the fathers and sons, that some sons leave and some fathers leave. So it's just like, oh, okay, well, this isn't fun anymore.
So I missed the second half. I only caught like a handful of the first half. And I think one of my favorite moments though comes from like, you should not be put a young person in this situation where he basically has to say like, my dad is two-timing these two women.
Yeah.
Like, my dad is playing these two women against each other. That sucks. That's something I shouldn't have to discover and say on TV. I don't know, for me watching, I'm like, that seems like a very personal moment to be like, my dad is being a bad person right now.
I will say I think you're talking about Lynette and Rebecca, and Joey is the one saying it, the Italian father and son.
Not one of the Insane Clown Posse members. There is a third Joey in this episode.
Everything's fine with Lynette. Rumor has it she is officially, or maybe not she is seeing Lil Wayne, okay, because of this show. So, or maybe not. He did endorse Donald Trump.
Wow. I mean, I'm glad things were working out for Lynette, except for the whole Donald Trump thing. Ew.
Maybe he said, "You want to know what? I was stupid for doing that. This year, I'll go Kamala."
Maybe, but it's still
or
just
maybe
like
RFJ.
Maybe after Lucha Underground, we just do a MILF Manor podcast.
RFK, RJK. Yeah. What's his name?
RFK Jr.
All right, there we go.
He's a junior,
just like the people in the ring.
Just Mysterio and Chavo. It goes back and forth a lot. For the most part, very very Ray. Chavo and Ray. There's this moment where they're struggling on the top rope. I swear to God. Chavo's looking for an avalanche electric chair. Ray ends up slipping out for a powerbomb. This match. I was terrified. But yeah, we get to that, the moment I mentioned before. Ray sets up for the 619, kind of dumping Chavo a little dangerously on his neck on that second rope. And Chavo Sr. didn't like that spot. He said, "Hey, what are you doing to my boy?" He slides into the ring with a chair. Like, he grabs a chair, slides into the ring, as Ray's sort of like on the run for the 619. He slides and Ray sees him, stops immediately. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And the evil little grin on Chavo Sr.'s face as he wallops his own son with a chair. Not Rey Mysterio. He wallops Chavo Guerrero Jr., goes to the referee, says, "I did that. I did that." Referee's been here the whole time. Referee's just been standing there being like, you guys can't be doing this. Chavo's like, I did that. That was me. Referee Marty Elias has no option. He has to ring the bell. DQ. Chavo Guerrero Jr. is the winner. Rey Mysterio has to leave the temple forever. It's over. Okay, we gotta go. Goodbye.
Normally I hate finishes like this, but I loved it because these two little shits are being little shits, and I loved it. A father-son little shit combo? Perfect. You better believe Classic was getting also shit in the duffel bag.
Oh my gosh. No, and I think this proves your point. These two little shits would clean up at MILF Manor. We got distracted, and I want to be clear. I do think you're very correct that these two little shits would clean up at MILF Manor. But yeah, that's the match. And that means Rey Mysterio's gone for the temple forever.
Get out of here.
Here comes Dario from The Office.
Oh, what?
Not the TV show, from his office, from the area, The Office.
He might have been in The Office. I saw him in Always Sunny. It was real good, but we don't have time.
That's true. Dario may be a cheeky bastard. He may be very evil, but he's here for the violence. And DQ finishes are not the violence. So he restarts the match with new rules. Anything goes. And the only thing I loved more than Chavo Guerrero Sr. beating his own son with a chair for a cheeky little bastard win is the way he just kind of like looks up at Rey and then just runs at him with the chair. He's just like, drop toe hold into the ropes.
Also, the fact that he hit his son over the head thinking that would be the winning thing, but now he's like, oh, my son now has to win a fight after being concussed by me throwing a chair at him.
Who could have foreseen that hitting my own son with a chair could have backfired so wonderfully? He runs at Rey with a chair, drop toe hold into the ropes, another one to Chavo Jr. Rey sets up for the double 619. Chavo Jr. ducks out of the way early, leaving only his father to eat the boots of Rey, who then powders outside. Rey goes up to the top rope, hits the seated senton. Chavo absorbs Rey's crotch in his face to roll through single leg Boston Crab. Lance Storm style, baby. Just really wrenching on that knee that has been a point for weeks at this point. Chavo has been attacking Rey Mysterio's knee.
And he got that injury because he was really mopping really well, you know?
Just super good mopper.
That's how I hurt my knee in the way in which when you rotate, it really is knee focused if you're doing mopping properly.
I agree. I mean, I think it starts at the hips, but you're definitely using your knees. Those are very active. Yeah, you know what? You motherfuckers thought this was a wrestling podcast? You fools. This is a mop technique, MILF Manor, mostly MILF Manor. And someday I also want to pitch to you a For Better or For Worse podcast where we just watch the TV show For Better or For Worse and I try to convince you it's better than Step by Step.
I mean, it's two different things.
What? No way. Same show. That's the trick. It's all, and really all four of these shows, MILF Manor, Lucha Underground, For Better or For Worse, and Step by Step, it's all, oh my gosh, I remembered the name of the four shows and I forgot the joke I was going to make. This sucks.
It's all about the heart, you know, at the end of the day. Its heart is at the center of each of those shows.
God, you know what? For goddamn true. For true.
If you're ever confused, you don't know what next to say, just point at the camera towards me and I'll take it from there.
That's true. All right. You know what? Thank you. James, that for you to do that for me, that means you have a lot of...
Just like Chavo Guerrero, all I care about is making the show and presentation the best it can be. This dude is the king of getting other fucking people over. Why isn't he? Is he in the Hall of Fame?
The WWE one? I don't think so.
What are they doing over there?
No, they had
Donald Trump's in there?
Yeah.
And Chavo Guerrero Jr. is not. This man is the fucking best, okay?
I know. Well, but it's fine. Chavo Guerrero Sr. is here. He's about to make sure Rey leaves the temple forever. So we'll have nothing but Chavo Guerrero memories. We have Lucha Underground, so we can appreciate Chavo Guerrero Jr. even more. Let me look at the rest of these notes here to finish up the match. Yeah, Chavo's got Rey in the single leg Boston Crab. We're gonna have years left of Chavo, James. It's gonna be fine.
Well, year left of Chavo.
Yeah. Oh, right. Chavo Sr. is still wonky on the floor after that 619. Chavo pays homage to his uncle and his grandfather, hitting Eddie Guerrero's Three Amigos suplex combo into the gory bomb. Rey kicks out at 2.75. Okay, but that's fine. Chavo flies off the top rope for the sunset flip. Rey rolls through with a drop kick. 619 and splash. Signs Chavo's walking papers. Rey Mysterio wins the match in 13 minutes and 42 seconds, which means Chavo Guerrero is banished from the temple.
This man is a producer on the show and said no. Rey Mysterio wins. I do not need to be on camera. That is what the people want. Me out, him in. I don't care because that is what makes the show better.
I'm actually really glad you didn't like go in a joke route and just were very sincere. That is amazing. And I feel like as a wrestling fan is seen so rarely. Like we're so used to
Hulk Hogan. Just say Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. The Hulk Hogan sort of like put me over, brother mentality. I need to protect myself first. And seeing Chavo be like, I need to protect the show. What's best for the show? Mm-hmm. What's best for me is best for the show. Here's the thing. That's it. There's a reason, like, at this point, it's very lucky to be so selfish in a business like this. Like you really need to be able to see the show ahead of yourself. Not just like on a moralistic standpoint, you know, for everyone else who are also trying to make money on this TV show, but also just like, yeah, you're going to have more jobs and you're going to have a better job if this show does well, you know? To put the show ahead of you serves you in the long run. And for Chavo to have done that for years and to be able to do that here in a, like, yeah, of course, like it's very refreshing. And whenever I shit in Chavo's bag, I do it with love and respect for what this man has meant to this industry. Chavo, thank you. Now get the fuck out of our temple. You're gone, buddy. Ray. And Ray to all of you as we close yet another episode of Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, and real quick, in 2024, a website just called Not in the Hall of Fame put out an article, I'm guessing, of the 100 people who should be in the Hall of Fame. And number 69 is Chavo Guerrero Jr. He's still not in there.
I mean, yeah, it's Chavo is, I part of me sees it, and there's gonna be some wrestling fans that'll be like, no, the character Chavo was, but it's like, no, you gotta, at this point, the Hall of Fame is a little beyond character. And even though Chavo's done so much, probably the most outside of the WWE, because he is a consultant on so many TV shows, and so many films. You know, he was a producer for Lucha Underground, wherever he go, and he goes. Like I think that's the hardest part is that Chavo's greatest work and contributions probably are outside of WWE because that's where they needed him. He's like, you know, he's like the Lone Ranger. If you're in need and you cry to the wilderness, there is a non-0% chance Chavo Guerrero Jr. answers the call. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be like, doesn't everyone hate you? And he's like, no, I'm just really good at my job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chavo's fucking sweet.
Salute Chavo, and also salute to Sean over on Twitch.
Twitch.tv Goose Von Kaiser. I'm continuing my break for a little bit. I had to make sure we got one more week. If you're listening to this the week that it comes out, at Dearborn Park this weekend, Shakespeare Blood Oath in the afternoon. We have one more park show. This is the first year we're doing the shows in the park. We just had our last weekend. I'm really excited about this. I think as a young company that just wants to create affordable Shakespeare experiences, the shows are free, by the way, in the park. And then we'll be moving to Otherworld Theater where the shows will be pay what you can. Come through. Proud of it. Proud of what we're doing here with 12th Night. It's a live action cartoon. Big goofs, baby.
This is what we do next year. Mm-hmm. Shakespeare Blood Oaths. Tomatoes Inferno.
Go to hell, how dare you?
I'll go to one of the circles, baby. Hey guys, listen to my music under Marshland Monster. Listen to Death to Squids on this feed. We have so many scheduling conflicts, but we are going to get to Resident Evil eventually, I promise. It's just a lot happened in July. So it's coming. Don't worry. We'll get into them. And hey, it'll be in time for spooky season. Okay?
Yay.
Deal with it. Then head over to patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. Yeah. This Friday is This Existed, where Corey and I are talking Ernest Goes to Camp, baby.
Finally. Let 'em know.
We've done Ernest Saves Christmas, and we will be doing Ernest Scared Stupid in October for our Halloween movie. Or maybe we'll do that for September, because we'll just put it out as like a later one. Yeah, we'll do back-to-back Ernest. Why not? And then we'll do, or I guess we could do the other Ernest one that Ernest Goes to Jail in September, maybe? I don't know. Usually that's like, hey, this is my birthday month. What do I want to do? But all of that's great.
The world of Ernest is a wide open plethora of opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, we're only doing the 4 good ones, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Also, Mostly Speakin' Sentai, we made some announcements over on the Patreon on Mostly Speakin' Sentai After Dark, where we introduced a new show that Nicole and I are cooking up. It's in the works. We'll be doing a pilot over there in a couple months, so be on the lookout for that. And if you're a $10 patron, you get all of that plus monthly bonus exclusive content in the form of straight to Patreon. Sean and Torchy were just on last month discussing...
Giant Shark versus Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah,
Colossus
that one.
versus Megashot.
There we go. The movie sucked, and the conversation was fun. So check that out. But you also get your name shouted out on every single free feed podcast as a $10 patron. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z, The Waz, Orion, my Bickle brother in common law, Joshua, Jake, Steve Barnes, A Sweet Child of Time, and of Intro Void. Listen to our Time Bandit discussion. Him and I, we've got people from the TV show on our podcast. Yay, yay.
Wow.
Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate. Oh, wait, no. My mother first. Now Lil Corey's BFF and now former roommate Shane. That fed. Twitch.tv/CoreWinning. It's Corwin from the ROM Complex as well as Formulaic, a podcast and script writing. It's Twitch.tv/R2Shelby2. And from the Speed Radio podcast, the next guest on Mostly Speakin' Sentai, if everything falls through correctly, it's Tay, a.k.a. Zinny D. And I forgot to shout out another new patron. This one was from July. It's Derek from the Walloping Web Snappers podcast, a podcast in all things Spider-Man, mainly the cartoons. I've been on that show and they've been on our show, so check them out. And I've been James.
I've been Sean. Give me all of your Miles Morales material. Purple Prancer forever. Be like Bob.
Give me $1,000 then, Sean.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah.